So, we are in the concluding part of this play. Till now, we have seen that starting from the beginning, Derry comes to Mr. Lamb's garden thinking that there is nobody, and then he finds Mr. Lamb over there, and then a conversation strikes between them. And we come to know from the conversation that Derry has become completely negative because of his burned face, and maybe because of certain comments and reaction which he has heard from various people all around him, and that has made him create a shell around himself, and he has enclosed himself in that shell. Now, what has happened till now? It has happened till now is that Mr. Lamb has been trying to change the perception of looking at the things, his outlook, and all that. And in the end, we also see till now we also see that somewhere Mr. Lamb is living a lonely life. People don't come to him, and that last dialogue before Derry after Derry leaves, and Mr. Lamb is all alone himself when he says that they all promise but they don't come back. So there is something, and Mr. Lamb understands the pain of that loneliness. Now the scene changes here. It is Derry's house, and maybe Derry has told everything to his mother, and his mother does not want Derry to go back to that place. She says, "You think I don't know about him? You think I haven't heard things? I haven't heard things." Means there is something about Mr. Lamb which is prevailing all around, which some rumor sort of thing or something like that. But Derry says, "You shouldn't believe all you hear." Now you see the way Derry is saying, "You shouldn't believe all you hear." Long back, it was Mr. Lamb who was telling Derry that you should not believe all you hear. Mother says, "Okay, not only told, I have been warned. We have not lived here 3 months, but I know that what there is to know, and you are not to go back there." She says, I mean, they have come only 3 months back over there, and she says that she has not only been told, but she has been warned about that person. So again, we come to know that there is something related to Mr. Lamb which people have assumed, and maybe that is the reason, based on their assumption and based on this rumor, people don't come to Mr. Lamb. They says, "What are you afraid of? What do you think he is? An old man with a tin leg, and he lives in a huge house without curtains and has a garden, and I want to be there and sit and listen to things. Listen and look. What is there to be afraid of him? He's just an old man with a tin leg, and he lives in a big house that is also without any curtain and has a garden." And moreover, Derry says that he wants to listen to him. He wants to listen to him what he says. Mother says, "Listen to what? Bees singing, him talking. Bees singing." See, he's looking at the positive side of the things. It is not bees buzzing, but bees singing and him talking. And what's he got to say to you? Things that matter, things nobody else has ever said, things I want to think about, things that matter. And how Derry has come to this conclusion, but Mr. Lamb has nowhere talked about his face. He has just told him what he should think and what he should believe. But mother is not ready to listen. Then she says, "Then you stay here and do your thinking. You are best off here." She does not want Derry to go because she has also created that assumption from the rumors that she has heard, and she, as a mother, she is more concerned Derry not going to that place. But Derry says, "I hate it here." When he says, "I hate it here," he is talking about the feeling which he feels there, because that is a place where he has enclosed himself, and he hates that particular feeling. But mother feels that this child is saying this because of the accident, because of the trauma that he is suffering. So she says, "You can't help the things you say. I forgive you. It's bound to make you feel bad things and say them. I don't blame you." She feels that he's saying all these things, negative things, just because of that trauma. And she says that she can understand. Now look at the reply given by Derry. "It's got nothing to do with my face and what I look like. I don't care about that, and it isn't important." All this while we have been listening to Derry only talking about his face, what people think about his face, what he thinks about his face. But for the first time he says, "I don't care about that, and it isn't important." So what he has understood. He has understood that more important than his face are the things that he want to think and feel, what I want to see and find out and hear. And I am going back there only to help him with the crab apples, only to look at things and listen. But I am going, and he is determined. Maybe somewhere he has got the feeling that this is a chance that he has got to break free from the shackle, the shell which he has created for himself. And maybe if he will not step out today, later on he may not be as brave or confident to move out. But mother says, no, you will not. Oh no, because if I don't go back there, I will never go anywhere in this world again. So we can see that feeling, that Derry feels that this is a chance, this is an opportunity to break free. And he says that if he doesn't try today, maybe he will never ever try again. And I want the world, I want it. Transformation complete. I want the world. The boy who was running away from the world, he says, I want it. He wants that world. Because he has now understood that the face is not important. He has the capability of doing the things like others. He can do it in the other's way. And who was responsible for that? The person who is responsible to make him understand all these things is no one else but Mr. Lamb. And he runs away from his home, going for the garden of Mr. Lamb. Scene 3. We are again back to Mr. Lamb's garden. Mr. Lamb has taken the ladder and he is picking up the apples. Steady, that's got it, that's it. And again, that's it. And then suddenly there is some disbalance. The ladder falls back. Mr. Lamb also falls. There is a sound of branch moving around. And then everything is silent, completely silent. And that is the time when Derry opens the garden gate. He is panting, Hafna, because he has been running all the time. And this is the time when he comes over there. And from there, from the gate itself, he starts, now see, opens the garden gate. First time when he entered, it was jumping over the wall. But now, it is not the case now. He is not running away from people. He does not want empty place. He knows Mr. Lamb is there. And now he is entering through the garden gate. You see, I came back. You said I won't, and they said. But I came back. I wanted. See, everyone believed that. You also believed that. Mr. Lamb also believed that he would never come back. The people back at home, they did not want him to go back. But he has come back. But then there is no reply. And then he sees at a distance Mr. Lamb lying on the ground. Mr. Lamb, Mr. You have. He runs through the grass, stops, kneels. Mr. Lamb, it's all right. You fell? I am here, Mr. Lamb. It's all right. Okay, no problem. I have come. Even if you have fallen. No problem. But there is no reply. There is no response. I came back, Lammy Lamb. I did come back. I came back. See, no one believed. You also did not believe that I will come back. But I have come back. I have broken that shell which I had created for myself. I have come out of it. I have broken the shackles. That is coming back. Coming back. But when he says, I did come back, the significance of this I did come back is Derry coming out of that negativity towards positivity, coming out of from that pessimism to optimism. And Derry begins to weep. Now sometimes it so happens that the authors and writers, they don't give direct indication, but somewhere they mention it, what could be the possibility. Now if you remember, Derry had remarked that it may so happen that Mr. Lamb may fall down, and he may break his neck and die. Maybe the same thing has happened over here. The same sort of accident has happened and Mr. Lamb is no more. Although the play ends on a tragic note. The play ends on a tragic note. But it leaves behind a ray of brightness, a ray of hope. And what is that ray of hope? That ray of hope is that Derry is now a changed person. He is completely transformed. He knows that he has got his capability. And all these things was possible only because Mr. Lamb, through his conversation, was able to change the perception of that boy who was surrounded by negativity, who was adamant, who was defiant, who was avoiding people. And this conversation has completely turned him, has made him understand that the life is not over for him, the world is not over for him. He has got the capabilities like others, and world is there to achieve and get and explore. And at this point, we come to the end of this play.